You ready to deal with Romans 11? All right, let's go. Romans 11, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
All right. Who was in Jerusalem at that time? As far as the people of Israel? The Jews, right? Jews consist of how many tribes? Three. Three tribes. Judah is short for the term Judah. The 10 tribes, what happened to them, they came over on this side of the earth. That's the prophecy in the book of 2nd Ezra. You following? Give me that real quick. It's a lot. That's why I say, when you read Romans, people take it for face value, not understand the precepts behind it.
Right.
When you understand the context of what was going on, he was asking a question because half of the tribes of the nation of Israel wasn't even there. So it says, have God done away with his people? No, God forbid. I'm also an Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin.
Right.
But, no, I'm still explaining. Go ahead.
Does that change
to stand and say that
any other tribe from being an Israelite if they went to another nation?
It's impossible for you to become an Israelite. What is an Israelite? What is an Israelite? Is a religion or is a nationality? Can you convert to a nationality? So you answer your own question.
Because they don't want to follow Jesus. But the word of God say in the 1 John chapter 3, I love that scriptures, verse 9.
Then that's other nations.
He said, whosoever is born.
That's what we're explaining. I ain't got to the point yet. I'm just telling you. Oh, we get into it. Oh, we get into it. Oh, we get into it.
He cannot sin because he's born of God.
It makes sense, right? If you read it from face value, you'll get that conclusion, right? But now let's understand what it's going into, right? Let's read it.
Bring it out.
Like I was saying, I was taking you down the timeline. Israel, look at this sign real quick. If you could, come around this brother. Or just face it towards him, if you want to stand. Look at this sign. Bring it back to me.
But to deliver us from
If you look, these three tribes consisted of the Jews. The rest of these tribes, down from Ephraim all the way down, they went off onto the other side of the earth. They're still God's people, but later on in the New Testament, you don't read about these tribes, barely. So what were they called at that time? Gentiles. 12 tribes. Do you follow them? I'll read it for you. I'm just trying to take the short way out of it, but I'll read it for you. Give me the book of 2nd Ezra. I'll read it for you. And give me the book of Hosea. 2nd Ezra. This is the Apocrypha. You believe in the Apocrypha?
You cannot cheat in your life if you say you're a Christian.
You got the 1611? Who got the 1611? Capitalism 1. Can I see your Bible real quick, sir?
Sin in you, you cannot continue in your sin because he have no sin.
Here we go. Check this out for me, brother. Put this on your camera. Show whoever you showing this video to.
Bring it out.
This as well. Open it to the table of context to him, real quick.
This is a mystery.
The table of the index.
If the Lord don't give you grace.
What does that say there?
Right.
It's broken up into 3 sections. One book, though.
To preach. They
What do you see?
Bible. They try to change the word of God, but they can't. But they try.
In the books of the New Testament.
Why is that in the Bible? If it's not the Bible. So you believe it?
Can feel good.
Let's go to 2nd Ezra. Now I'm going to show you what happened to those tribes.
Bring it out.
2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. Those are the 10 tribes.
Those are the 10 tribes. Hold the sign real quick. One more time.
Perfect man. Jesus was the first example.
Those are the 10 tribes. Read on.
Which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanasseh, the king of Assyria, led away captives, and he carried them over the waters. And so they came into another land, but they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
So the counsel was that they're going to go into a further country where never mankind dwelt. That's what we call the New World today.
Right.
Right? Read on.
That they may keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
So the nation of Israel was divided. The northern kingdom of Israel was over here, and in the Old Testament, they were called Gentiles. Let's read that real quick. Give me the book of Hosea. I just want to show you where they went. Hold on, brother. Hold on. You still with me, right? This is a good question. I want you to go on. I want you to hear it. I'm going to be short with it.
This is the godliness of God. This is a mystery.
I'm going to be quick. Hold on, brother. Give me a minute.
I think
Hosea chapter chapter 7, verse 8. Hosea 8 and 8. Israel swallowed up. Now shall he be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure.
That's what happened to the tribes. They became as Gentiles to the Jews, right? Now give me real quick what the commandment, what God said about the back in Hosea.
Unto the Gentiles.
Hosea, give me 12.
Hosea chapter 4, verse 17. Ephraim is joined to idols.
Ephraim is joined to idols. Ephraim became head of the 10 tribes. You following? Ephraim. Where we at? Right here. Ephraim, he became the head of the rest of the tribes. So when we're talking about Ephraim, we're talking about the rest of the tribes of the northern kingdom. Same nation. Ephraim is joined unto idols. Read.
Let him alone.
This is why when we get to the New Testament, we call them Gentiles. We ain't dealing with them. They ain't been over here sacrificing like we've been sacrificing. Leave them alone. Christ said, I got people of that. I got sheep which are not of this fold. Them must I also bring. Then there may be one. Let's read that again. Give me that real quick. I'm going to take you the long ride because I want you to understand it. Romans 11. I'm going to go through it quick though. Give me the book of St. John, chapter 14.
In your mind, in your behavior, the way you act, the way you dress. That is a true image of God. If you are the children of God, you have to know the nature of God. Is holiness. Because the word of God says
16, right here. Okay, here we go. 10, and let's read verse
The book of John, chapter 10, verse 16. And other sheep I have, which are not of this fold.
Other sheep which I have, which are not of this fold. Read on.
Them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold, one fold, and one shepherd.
Keep that in mind. Remember that. They're not of this fold, but I'm going to bring them back. There's going to be one fold, and there's going to be one shepherd. Ezekiel 36. Check this out. And then we're going to go straight to Romans 11. Now you're going to understand it. Ezekiel 37. 22. And 22.
You don't see the Bible telling Jesus was
Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel.
Hold up real quick. Let's start a little higher so we can get the context. Let's start up at verse 16.
Ezekiel 37, 16. Moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions.
Right? One stick and write for Judah and Israel, his companions. Who was his companions? Benjamin and Levi. Read on.
And then take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim,
Read on.
and for the house of his Israel, his companions.
His companions, the rest of the 12 tribes. So you have two sticks. They were split up into two. Judah consisted of Benjamin and Levi. Ephraim consisted of the rest of the tribes. Read on. Now 22.
Verse 22. And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king. Shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations. Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all.
That's right. Should they be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all? Now let's get Romans chapter 11. Bring it out. Now we're going to bring it home. Romans chapter 11, verse 1. Again.
Romans chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, hath God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin.
So I'm going to sum it up real quick. It's a lot in Romans 11. When you read, it says, for the falling of them, I gotta read it. Read verse 11. Yeah, read. Start at verse 10.
Romans chapter 11, verse 10. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their backs always. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid.
Talking about the Jews. Have they stumbled that they should fall, that have no way to salvation? God forbid. Unto them the oracles of God was given. A prophet must be in the Jew. You read that in Romans 3. Read on.
But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles. Who were called Gentiles? 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1.
Bring it out.
There's so many precepts on this thing. You'll get it today.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
1 Corinthians 12 and 1.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles,
You know that you were Gentiles, read on.
carried away unto these dumb idols, even as ye were led.
Who was he talking to? Israelites. Israelites. He said, you Israelites, you were Gentiles. How is it possible, again, you said that yourself, it's impossible for you to convert to another race of people. So how is it that they were Gentiles? Mentally they were Gentiles, and they were called Gentiles by the Jews. So what happened amongst the Jews, it says they fell to the point that they didn't believe in Christ. But it was possible that they fall because that's how the Gentiles were grafted in. Paul says, since you ain't believe, lo, I go to the Gentiles. That's the rest of the tribes that were falling off, and they were called uncircumcised by those that were called circumcised. You understand?
Bring it out.
We'll continue. Let's go back to Romans 3 and read that again in verse 11.
Romans chapter 11, verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles to provoke them to jealousy. Now if the fall of them be the riches of the world,
Now the fall of them, we what?
be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? But I speak to you, Gentiles, inasmuch as I am apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. But if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh. And
Now jump down to verse 19. We'll get straight to the point.
verse 19, thou will say
Something wrong
that.
with this mic.
Verse 19, verse 19, thou will say that the branches were broken off.
The branches, which is Northern Kingdom, or the Gentiles, they were broken off. Leave them alone. Remember that council in Hosea? Leave them alone. Don't have no dealings with them. Ephraim is joined unto idols. Leave them alone. They be broken out, read.
That I might be crafted in.
He said that they were broken out that I might be grafted in. Gentiles, don't get puffed up because of the Jews fell off and they don't yet believe in Christ. They fell off that the whole world might be grafted in. You're going to get what that world is. Read.
Well, because of unbelief, they were broken off.
Because of their unbelief in Christ, they were broken off. The Jews, read.
And thou standest by faith.
And you Gentiles, you stand by faith in Christ. They were sacrificing unto Christ, but now you're being grafted in because you believe. Before you were called Gentiles, but now you know, understand that you are God's people. It's time to come back into that fold.
Right.
This is what Christ was talking about. Read.
Be not high-minded.
Be not high-minded. But what was the point? Let's get down to what Paul said later on in the chapter. Same chapter, but check this out. Let's get down further and let's read in verse 26. 25.
Romans chapter 11, verse 25. For I will not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery.
I will not, brethren, you be ignorant of this mystery. Read.
Lest ye should be wise in your own conceits.
Read.
That blindness in part has happened to Israel.
Happened to who?
Unto Israel,
Read.
until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in.
Read.
And so all Israel shall be saved.
Read again.
All Israel shall be saved.
Forgot real quick. Let's jump up. Go back real quick. In case you forgot. Go back up real quick. And all Israel might be saved. So it was necessary for the Jews to fall so they wouldn't get high-minded, saying they had the advantage and that the Gentiles, which mean the northern, could come in. So it was necessary for them to fall and that the blessing come on the Gentiles, and now they can all come back together.
Right.
That the purpose of what? All Israel might be saved. Read it again.
Romans chapter 11, verse 26. And so all Israel shall be saved. As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer,
Which is Christ.
and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them.
Unto who?
Unto them.
Unto who?
Unto them.
Unto who? Israel. Verse 26.
And so all Israel shall be saved.
27 again.
For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins.
Why? Because all Israel is still here.
That's right.
God haven't done away with his people. So Romans 11 is talking about the nation of Israel.
Right.
It's not talking about nobody else.
That's right.
You understand that?